For side by side with true equality. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around and never, never, never. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development and peace. Side by side in true equality. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development and peace. Oh, sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Definition very clear. Which
promoting our child marriage. Yes. Many definitions here. Child.
Madam First Lady, the leader of government business, the leader of the opposition, the leader of the legislative committee, and all the leaders of two political parties represented here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to call this meeting to order. Can we all just use this opportunity to bow our heads and invite the presence of God in our respective ways? Amen and amen. We are about to commence this program, and if you look through the agenda item, we are now supposed to have the opening remarks by the legislative chairman. I will now use this opportunity to invite the Honorable S. Marie Conte to do the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Acting Clerk. Her Excellency the First Lady, the leader of government business, leader of the opposition, other honorable members of the parliamentary leadership, colleague MPs, representatives from civil society, representatives from ministries, departments, and agencies, the fourth estate, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We are here to witness a very historic activity. The discussion, the pre-legislative hearing of a private member's bill. We never had one in the 5th Parliament, and before the 5th Parliament, we had very few. But this is going to go down in our history that the 6th Parliament ensured or created the platform for a private member's bill. This is not just a private member's bill. It is one that's going to touch the hearts and minds of the population of Sierra Leone. We're talking about a private member's bill that's talking about the protection of the girl child. And we all know when you educate a girl child, you're educating a whole nation. So let's be mindful, we're all going to make history. Like every other pre-legislative hearing, the purpose is to ensure that as members of parliament, we broaden our understanding on the contents of the bill. Based on that information, we'll be able to make informed choices as we take decision on behalf of our people. So it is against this backdrop that you're welcome here today, and in the process, you make meaningful contribution to ensure that by the time we go to the plenary, we'll be able to make a decision that will benefit this generation and generation yet unborn. So on this note, I want to welcome you again to this session. Thank you very much. Well, in fact, I think I need a louder applause for me to proceed. And the cameras are watching. We're going to judge you based on how you really applaud the process. Thank you. Yes. Now we go to statements. We're going to keep them very short as we're already behind schedule. The chairperson gender committee, but in her absence, I'll call on the whip of the opposition, Honorable 𝐒𝐢𝐫𝐬𝐿 𝐿 to make a statement.
we are not just making history, but we are liberating our women. It's not just the numbers. I have said, if we have the number of women in this parliament and it cannot address the issues affecting women in society, it is better they will have not come to this parliament. Women, remember, you are not just women because you are born so. You are women because you are in this parliament to liberate the many women out there who do not have voices to echo them to society. So continue to do the engagement. Be rest assured, I am sure the leadership of our parliament are always behind you, and we are ready to do things to bring our women to speed with us. We cannot leave a vast majority of our population without voice. And if we're giving you the voice, we want to hear the voice on issues affecting women across the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I was really expecting the women to be more cooperative, because the honorable member just said, bring more legislation to liberate women. I think that's a very loud call. Thank you very much, Honorable Whip. Yes, at this point, I have the honor to invite somebody who has also been very passionate, very committed, especially when it comes to the issues of women. It's no other person than the leader of the opposition, Honorable 𝐅𝐚𝐽𝐫𝐬𝐭, for his statement. Let's put our hands together for the leader.
Yes, I firstly want to recognize the presence of Her Excellency the First Lady, the leader of government business, deputy leader of government business too, leaders of the opposition, that is the whip, deputy 1 and 2, and okay, the deputy leader of government business 1 is also here. I also want to recognize the presence of members of parliament who have left our busy schedule to honor this invitation. I want to state here that we are here on a very important note. We are here to see how best we could fight for those who don't have the strength to fight. We could speak for those who are voiceless, and we could advocate for those who don't have the power. Child marriage has been very preeminent in rural areas, and some of us who come from those areas have witnessed, child marriage firsthand, and we've seen instances where there are inability of these children to give birth because of lack of preparedness of their organs. So if we are here as a parliament to look at this very bill, to me I consider it a blessing and an opportunity. Like I said, it was Mother Teresa who once said, your life is not worthwhile until you decide to leave it for others. Other people should benefit from your life. It's not all about you. And this bill is so sensitive that members of parliament should be put to work, Her Excellency, because most of what is in this bill need proper sensitization. Members of parliament are deliberately drawn from every district of this country so that they could be able to reach their people and conscientize them about laws that are made of it. So firstly, ma, I want to crave on your indulgence to also see and find ways as to how members of parliament could be empowered to go back to their people in those remote villages and inform them about the detail that are in this. And also, I have read through the bill. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. But again, when you make law, there are things you look at and there are things you intend doing. You don't deliberately make law to punish people. If there are ways you have for them not to fall foul of the law, it's better you do it than you wait for them to fall foul of the law and discipline them through the law. So I went through briefly, and I also noticed that we also have to pay attention at some of the causes of this child marriage. When you attack the root cause, you stop the problem. But when you just bring law to prohibit it becomes surreptitious. They do it underground, without people knowing. Because some families are very poor. You can abuse their child and give them money. They will keep quiet about it. They will not bring it to the attention of government because they are also fighting for their survival. That is how most rich men in those villages have abused so many children. Because when they do anything, the family cannot provide for themselves, they go to the family and give the family, pittance. And because of the pittance, the family will be very protective of the perpetrator. So we have to also look at how best we can do to see that we attack poverty, in those areas, because it's the key problem, and restore confidence on the people that when once you report, nothing will be done to you. Or when once you report, your child who is the victim will be well taken care of. Because most times when they report and the man who is the perpetrator is handled by the law and dealt with by the law, nobody will care again about the victim. You see, so at the end of the day, it will be their own problem. So we want to see how best, we will do to make sure that the victims are safe and they are okay, so that they are well taken care of. You see, the lack of education also in those rural areas is also very, very serious. That is the very reason for which I have pleaded with Her Excellency that effort should be made, especially with members of parliament who are here, to make sure that they conscientize their constituents, so that they know what is embedded in this very law. I have also, looked at the manner also in which we can holistically address this problem once and for all. What is so bad is that when a problem submerges, it's extremely bad. I could remember when we were here, we deliberated about push, and we made some laws, to make sure that we arrest or we dealt with anybody who is found wanting. So what they did was they went underground. So we want to see how best we can be able to handle this once and for all. So the underlying problems also should be taken note of. And also, I see in some clauses like clause 7, the bill talks about incriminating whosoever attends, a child marriage. And firstly, we also should be careful because one, nobody announces his or her age before the marriage. Yes, maybe out of ignorance or out of lack of knowledge of the age, you may attend. Because I have seen some 15 years old that looks like 25 years old. I don't know whether you've seen such. So when you are invited to the wedding, you will assume that this person is more than 15 years, not knowing that the person is below 15 years. And at the end of the day, you may have fallen foul of the law, and you'll be dealt with accordingly. So let us see how best we can be able to institute some safeguard for those who would be attending marriages. Either we let it be known that the ages of whosoever is getting word, is published or, is written on the invitation card. Yes. Yes. So that I don't go to marriages that I don't know the ages of people. I don't know if I'm on point. Yes. Yes. Exactly. And also the bill talks about promoting child marriage. Clause 6, promoting child marriage. Again, I asked myself that what constitutes promoting child marriage, because it is not too clearly spelled out in the bill. It is not too clearly. I'm saying this because our mama has a good heart for the kids. That is why she has brought this document here. But some other unscrupulous citizens may want to misuse this to go after people who have not clearly gone against the law. The word promoting child marriage should be clear enough so that law enforcement agencies would know that, when you do this, you have promoted child marriage. When you do that, you have promoted child marriage. But the long and short of it is that we are very proud that such bill is brought to Parliament, and we want to assure Her Excellency that we'll do everything within our power to ensure that this bill passes with the required speed that it needs. And we want to let it know that don't hesitate to put your hands together. Yes. So we want to thank her, and she has shown to us very clearly of her perseverance and persuasion. The mere fact that she has spent ample time with us in Parliament is a clear demonstration of her willingness to fight for those who cannot fight and to speak for those who cannot speak. So we want to assure you, Her Excellency, of our fullest cooperation, and we want to assure you that this will go down in history and on the sands of time, that she played a significant role in fighting for those children who have been abused over the period of time. This is their period of grace. This is their moment of emancipation from those men who have always taken advantage of them. So, yes, exactly. So we want to thank the mother of the nation. We want to thank the mother of the nation, and we want to assure that members of Parliament from all the sides of the aisle are very much prepared to make sure that the children of our nation are safe. So may God bless you as we look at the nation.
Thank you very much, Leader of the Opposition. Her Excellency, you've been assured by the Leader of the Opposition that members from both sides are ready to work with you to protect the children of this country. And again, it's very clear that it is a blessing, an opportunity for us to live our lives for others as we take the lead as servant leaders to ensure that we pass very good laws. The issue of clauses 6 and 7, Honorable Leader, they will be dealt with, but the law will always be the law and will make provision for investigation, and no innocent person will fall victim even when things go wrong. But then it will be dealt with. Thank you very much. You see, having listened to the Leader of the Opposition, you'll say, oh, leadership are ready. But then I think when you listen to the Leader of Government Business, you will know that leadership is more than ready. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, put your hands together for... Please allow me to listen. You don't have the opportunity to introduce the crocodile on a daily basis. But now, Honorable members, again, put your hands together for the living crocodile, the leader of government business, Honorable Martin Mama.
Chairman, I don't know if you are doing the amendment for your program.
Well, it has been done, but I'll also announce the amendment. But
yes.
Please proceed, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairman. First, I want to say thanks to God we are all here. Her Excellency, Madam First Lady, the leader of the opposition, my colleagues. Let me stand on existing protocols for me to opine on this very important day. You know, I borrowed the words from my opposition leader. He said the bill of emancipation. You know, I also joined it by quoting that you can fool people sometimes, but you cannot fool people all the time. Good must prevail over evil. She is the Messiah to fight for the emancipation. So, you know, I like to go to the genesis of this whole business. Sometimes we should have a face of a patriotic issues that will bring forth for the good of our nation. When she started the issue of hands off our gas, people wanted to politicize it. We said, I like. We must support our leaders. We must support our young women. We must support those who have not been given the opportunity to know their rights. These men is going to talk about Sweet 16. We must go office days. So in fact, for the issue of sensitization, for the issue about talking about girl child protection, we also saw what she did for the answer of our girls. Let's make a reflection. She brought all the paramount chiefs from the different districts, different chiefs, put them in a platform where all of them made a statement, where all of them can support our girl child emancipation. But unfortunately, today what we started in December 14th rather, what we started December 14th, I can't remember the year again. 2019. And by the offspring of that drive, hands of our girls, today this is one of the beneficiaries. So in fact for me, yesterday when I was talking with my colleagues, I said, well, with me, if I am many will forget about Sweet 16, I would just say no more hands off our girls. Now so I will call this billions. Because it's really that we are talking about. Take off your hands from our children. And that is why child is defined in the interpretation of the bill. Anybody below the age of 18 is a child. So what she has done, talking about hands off our girls, in the connotation of our local language. In Timene, you can get interpretation when I followed her. In Mende, you can get interpretation. In Creole, then we call it locally when we want to enjoy ourselves. I don't know the language very well. But she has been preaching about it in this church. So I talk about Sweet 16. How can 16 be sweet? You are involved in child abuse. How can it be sweet? Becky I know, but it's a preacher. I know my. We are working, so I know his case. I know his languages. But he has not known this nomenclature because of abuses, but because of what is happening within our community. He is passionate. Let us address some of these issues. He raised. So I just first, colleagues, I want us to understand where we're coming from. We are coming from a national drive. When you move around, when you go within your regions, and you see issues happening, just after looking for oversight. If you go to section 93 of our constitution, it tells you that when you do oversight, the report of that oversight must be translated in terms of policy drive or what we enact as laws. So the problems we try to solve by enactment. So what she has done in using in a different form as an outsider, that's where we have the private member bill.
using one of us to say, look, I've gone round. I have something I want to address. This cannot be addressed using a government motion. I want it to be a political bill. So I want you to pilot some for us. So she said to the Honorable Marama Zungu to pilot this bill. So, as I said in China, this is the offspring of the House of our Girls. It's not political to say this bill SO2 and the House of our Girls. We have been fighting for our leaders. And when we started the drive for women to come to the fore, not only coming to the fore, but to take positions, as I said, and let me repeat my words, because some men, people who have led us before, they are selfish. That's why leaders are behind today in these administrations. Because we know by nature men are selfish. Today we want to kill that spirit of selfishness to bring a selfless service to women. So the issue of gender parity must be looked into with a amount of seriousness. So, Madam First Lady, there are issues we have to raise with the bill. But let me now tell you that also there are so many things that you can really benefit from the bill. In fact, we are not talking about God child specifically in the bill. It's talking about the two parties, male and female. In fact, if you go from the interpretation right up to the miscellaneous provisions, you can realize I'll talk about the parties involved. And we are coming from when I was in school. We are coming from cosmopolitan environment. You have where you have some tribes. These are cultural practices. And cultural practice, you don't have to abuse the law. You have to deal within the confines of the law. So there are early marriages not only for the female, but even for both of them underage, below the age of 18. So they will bring them together that you are going to do early marriage. And they will put them in the same dwelling house with their parents so that they can be together, cohabit. In fact, that is double crime. They will marry them and they cohabit. So before they get to the point at the age of 18, they are giving back to 2 or 3 children. So what we are seeing, this also addresses the issue of male and female. Also addresses the issue of, just because it was out of abuse, it was out of abrogation of the law, not necessarily mean that you have to also deprive the children, the offspring of that early marriage. They are going to go to benefits out of what you are going to enact. But the bill is divided into different parts. There are protection, there is annulment of early marriage, there is also compensations. And the compensation area is specified. How do you go about compensating? If you are living your serious life under this early marriage, you also got to be charged, whether you go to people's sum or you pay a monthly arrangement. It's also enshrined in the bill. But let me address the issue of talking about if you are 10. If you look at the miscellaneous provision, you don't do the administration of the law. That's why we have in the miscellaneous, we have what they refer to as rules. But what normally we do for conformity of the law, we talk about regulations. So he has raised the issue about talking about if I do attend, have I committed an offense? Yes, by law, with other conformity of the law, it's out of investigation that you be set free. That's why you are called for investigation, and all of you put on bail. In fact, that is the reason we are amending the CPA bill. It will come very soon for confirmation. But let me explain. For the regulations coming, it is a regulation that explicitly states. It will state clearly that if you attend a marriage, now we will now give what entails in that provision in clause 7 he mentioned. And also I also have a question for, you refer to the court system when you look at part 6 of the bill. They talk about the court system. In the definition in this context, but if the professional is here, Madam First Lady, are we talking about the court system in the general definition of court? Or if we are going to expressly state that in this bill, let us define what we mean by court. Because most of the abuse taking place on our age, you don't have court system, you have local court, in fact, some of them are already recognized. Or some type of setting around it vicinity. Those who can look at. The regulation speaks to so many things. So we anticipate that the experts will talk to us about what is the definition of court, Or do we need to expressly state that definition of what and other provisions must be stated? Madam First Lady, without much ado, there are much we are going to say when we get to the plenary in our debate. But let me tell you, as I started with the words, joining my colleagues, emancipate yourself. Momental slavery. Take this one home. Some men and women here are victims. Some men and women here are victims. Who feels it, knows it. Perhaps if you have talked to some people in higher society today, they will tell you more. So I want to appreciate Madam First Lady for thanking. This is a very good deal. And let me assure you, tomorrow we'll allow ladies, I will talk to the speaker, we'll allow ladies to deliberate as much as they can. But let me assure you, to ready to sit for a very long day, because we want to conclude this bill tomorrow. The reason why we are concluding it, because the president in his presidential speech for women, I don't know if probably the second page says, our democracy is enriched because of the inclusivity of more women using the proportional representation to form the tapestry of our democracy. That's the word of our president. And another expression in the Fifth Parliament, he said, if you educate a woman, you have educated a nation. And if you have a first lady, with this type of zeal, with this type of atmosphere, with this type of charisma, with this type of gravitas of bringing women together, fighting their cause, irrespective of tribe, religion, political boundaries, let us join her to fight for the rights of our women. It is a cause, it's a religious cause. If you are a Muslim, join her. If you are a Christian, join her. Or if you believe that we should grow as a state in the face of freedom, unity, and justice, let us fight for the cause of women. Thank you very much. May Lord bless us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Leader of Government Business. You went very far to quote Bob Marley, but I will quote you. I will quote the Leader of Government Business. He said, "Women must kill the spirit of selfishness in us and work selflessly for the protection of our women." I think that's what we have to take home. We have to work selflessly for the protection of our women. Thank you very much, Leader of Government Business. I'll now call on the pilot of this whole aeroplane. I'm not talking about the owner of the flight, but the pilot, with very clear instructions to take you to a destination, more or less a very safe destination. She has worked tirelessly on this. She's been working on it for years. And what happened? Like minds converge at some point. She's been working on it from her angle, and then patiently waited for the message, the hands of our God's message. So you see how the pilot got herself into this. Honorable members, put your hands together for Honorable Marina Mulia-Zondo from Sudan. Mr. Leader, Ezo to Roma and not even clap for himself. But we don't demand a clap for him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I would like to say thank you to Her Excellency for taking her time and emerging into something which is so passionate about to join us today to introduce this bill to the public and to ensure that we understand what we are going to look at tomorrow. Thank you very much, Her Excellency. My leaders, I would like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm humbled to be the messenger for the bill, which is going to be the biggest game changer in the history of adolescent protection in this country. And like my leader was saying, the bill is for both boys and girls. First, I would like the public to know that a private member's bill is one of the a bill that should be very popular in our country, because there are many issues that our MDAs cannot handle alone. And we have, as parliamentarians, the constitutional mandate to introduce private members' bill, especially around issues that are affecting citizens and vulnerable persons. We happen to be here as women, but two of us, because we are given the platform by His Excellency the President and the government of Sierra Leone through the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act. I think we should give a big hand to Her Excellency and her husband and the government of Sierra Leone. We wouldn't have been talking about a bill, a gender-friendly bill like this, if we were not given a chance to step up on this platform. Our constitutional mandate comes from Section 73(2) of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, because we have a legislative power in Sierra Leone vested in us to make laws. Also, Section 105 in the same Constitution gives Parliament the supreme legislative authority. So any member of Parliament can push for a bill to help or protect humanity in Sierra Leone. In this bill, which is called or entitled the Prohibition of Child Rights Act, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2024, we want girls to be girls and boys to be boys, not girls being brides. A girl should go to school, and a girl should live and thrive in an environment that will bring success to her, her family, and to Sierra Leone. Same with the boys. That's our goal. And that's why we are saying, let girls be girls. But in this country, it will interest you to know from the recent statistics we have got from like Save the Children and UNFPA, other institutions that are working on child marriage. We have 39% of girl brides in Sierra Leone who are married, adolescent girls who are not 18. That's high. We also have before 18, but now there are 13% of these same girls who are married below 15 years. Imagine. And boys in 2020, we couldn't get statistics for 2022, 3, and 4. But boys in 2020 were also, the research shows that 7% of those boys were married before 18 years. 7%. That must have increased, I guess. And Sierra Leone is the 19th highest globally in terms of child marriage prevalence. We are the 19th highest in the world. And child marriage affects the physical, mental, and psychosocial well-being of boys and girls. Boys' mental well-being, boys marry girls or women, and they are not yet men. They don't love them, they are not in love with them. And so they end up marrying other women or having side chicks. Later in life, they are living with women they don't want. And for girls, the impact is higher, because child marriage affects their physical well-being, because when pregnancy comes, the child or the girl is faced with the fears of fistula, obstetric fistula. They are faced with the fear of STD. They are faced with the fear of HIV/AIDS, and it impacts their mental, psychological, and general well-being. Why do we want to subject our girls to such pain? They are not mature physically for childbirth, and we know the relationship between teenage pregnancy and child marriage and teenage pregnancy. You get pregnant, they say go and marry. You marry and you get pregnant, and you drop out of school. So the impact on schooling is huge, because you cannot marry as a child, take care of the home and your husband, and at the end of the day, you're expected to do well in school. You are going to drop out. So it's affecting the well-being, affecting the educational status of children, especially girls. Mr. Chairman, Your Excellency, and the public, and other honorable members, the Hands Off Our Girls campaign, combined with other actions, interventions which have been taken in this country, has helped curb teenage pregnancy, rape, and other burning issues that are affecting adolescent girls to a large extent, because it's the biggest game changer and the biggest child protection intervention ever in this country. Let us give Her Excellency a big hand for that. We also had the Teenage Pregnancy and Child Marriage National Strategy 2018 to 2022, which was wherein the Hands of Our Girls was also launched alongside that strategy. It has also helped to curb child marriage. But still, child marriage is on the increase. And the question is, what is stopping us from having a law that will strengthen the interventions that the Hands of Our Girls has been making? The interventions have helped. But what can we do to cement those gains that have been made by the Hands of Our Girls campaign and other interventions that have been taking place? Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, chairman, Your Excellency, and the public, this bill is meant to cement the gains that we have made with the Hands of Our Girls. It is meant to help to curb the menace of child marriage in a way which will be effective, in a way which will be protective of girls and boys. So the bill is divided into 7 parts. Part 1 deals with interpretation, meanings, and so on. Part 2 deals with prohibition in its entirety. Part 3 deals with cohabitation. You see this taptomy, even the guest houses, they are taking those pequitos. There is an issue with that now when this law is passed. Part 4 deals with annulment. If you were married before as a child, so after this law has been passed, after enactment, that marriage is annulled as long as you were a child when you got married. Part 5 deals with compensation for the physical, the psychological, the psychosocial, and the mental torture from child marriage. You can ask for compensation. Part 6 deals with protection, general protection of the victims of child marriage. And Part 7 deals with the laws that are going to be amended or are amended in the Act, and uniformity in age, uniformity in penalties, and so on. This deals with the legal system. There are 5 laws that are treated, are touched in this Act. And those laws are the Child Rights Act 2007, the Registration of Customary Marriage and Divorce Act 2009, the Christian Marriage Act of 1960, the Muslim or Mohammedan Marriage Act of 1960, and the Civil Marriage Act of Sierra Leone. So, ladies and gentlemen, this bill encompasses all the issues around marriage, and repeals have been done, reviews, amendments are going to be done. So it's fully packed with protection issues and also legal amendments. I would like to say that girls should always be girls. Let us leave the pequitos alone and allow them to go to school. Thank you very much. We'll do more during the
very much, Honorable Zombo. From your speech, I think will remind the drafters to include under interpretation the definition of Bekitu. But on a very serious note, it's about harmonizing our laws in the area of age, consent, and even marriage. It's very important. We are going to look at caps 95, 96, and 97. All of this dealt with marriage. And then, of course, the Child Rights Act of 2007, which has two key clauses that we'll have to look at, clause 34 and clause 46. And then, of course, the registration of customary marriage, 2009. In fact, that's the legislation that dealt with the issue of consent, which we are going to look into in depth. At this juncture, I would like to announce the amendment that we made on the order paper, or the agenda here. Most of you looked at it, but we never had anything like a keynote speaker. But trust me, there is no way we'll allow the pilot to take off and land safely without even talking about the proprietor, in fact, of the flight and all other things involved. Let's make the amendment now. The keynote address is going to be given by somebody who needs no introduction. But this time around,